Welcome to 100% London launch. London is a great city. We all know that. We've been in the forefront of solving big problems before, cholera, slums, traffic, that have had massive impacts across the world. And with the shift to clean energy, we can do the same. Let's lead the world in a shift to clean energy. It will make London a better place to live and help the world tackle climate change.
The environmental vote is going to be extremely important in the mayoral election. What we've set out is a top-level plan for how London can get 100% clean energy by 2050. And so in our initial piece of work, what we've done is to set out 9 essential policies. We've put them into sort of several categories, the first of which is in energy. We need a citywide distributed energy network. The existing NET has a very good target in place. It is an ambitious target to get 25% of London's energy from distributed energy by 2025. But again, we are behind on delivery there. We think London needs to develop a citywide solar strategy. In order to bring forward the coordination that we think needs to be delivered, we think there needs to be a body similar to Transport for London that is tasked with delivering on a much more ambitious distributed energy network. We've then got a category around transport. Our first essential policy, the thing that absolutely has to be done, is to keep the masses moving and investing in the transit system and decarbonising that system. We need to get London cycling. We need to make sure that everyone who can cycle does cycle and provide the opportunities for them to do that and the infrastructure for them to do that. Freight is a very, very important area of source of carbon emissions. I think if there is one policy that you really focus on, then it should be on energy efficiency. 35% of London's emissions come from our housing stock. We think 250,000 homes each year should be treated. And the last one is in resources, and is a big category, but we've only got one recommendation around it at the moment, and that's just to maximise the city's resource efficiency. There is a lot of waste in London. It is a wasteful place.
I am delighted to be here this evening, and I am going to be chairing a discussion with 2 of our mayoral candidates about what they would do to make London a green city.
I think we've fallen behind in relation to reaching the target for 2025 of 60% carbon emissions reduction. We need stretching important targets. I want to be the greenest mayor London's ever had. I think there's a business case for us to be a green city. We can use it as a way to create jobs and growth.
Obviously, the 9 essentials I more or less 100% endorse, and some of the details I think we would go a bit further and a bit faster. I'm really, really keen to make sure that we find the money to make up for the outrageous cuts that the government is making to the feed-in tariffs. They're threatening to strangle the solar panel industry. Devolution does make that possible, and there is a business case. If we're talking about, using potentially some of the business rates that we can retain to set up that fund, it only needs to last for a few years. But the benefits in terms of keeping small businesses going, keeping these solar cooperatives going that are starting out, you cannot. The arguments are absolutely unanswerable that we should be doing it, and that if the national government won't do it, then London's government should.
On Sean's last point, there's not a lot of chance that I disagree with him.
Good.
I'm pleased the others haven't turned up because
Please don't agree on everything.
Well, no,
it
but
wouldn't be a good
just
debate.
to give you a scale of the opportunity, the world market for low carbon and green is roughly £5.5 trillion. £5.5 trillion. I see it's an opportunity. London's share of the 5.5 trillion, it's just 25 billion. The point I think we need to get across as campaigners is this is now a mainstream issue when it comes to transport policies. It's great to have Rob here. When it comes to housing policies, when it comes to education, when it comes to jobs, you should think as a mainstream issue about the green impact and opportunity. And for example, when it comes to green homes, Rob talked about Barclays in relation to the homes they build. Are they thinking about where are the schools? Are they 2 hours away or are they walking distance? Are they thinking about infrastructure for transport?
I mean, when I stood for mayor before in 2008, my absolute keynote policy was to use the eco funds, as they were called CERT at the time, to do free insulation for people to reduce their fuel bills, but also to reduce their, the health effects, as we saw in the presentation just now. Now
Is that a million homes?
that absolutely has to be done. We absolutely
commitment
have
for
to
a
find
million
that
homes.
money. We need to putting together new ways of investing in green energy, in a revolving fund for energy efficiency. We have vast swathes of Victorian and Edwardian terraces that are not insulated yet. And I was complaining about these back in 2008, and we've barely made a dent on those.
Think about TfL. Think about the properties TfL owns, 600 hectares of land. The point I think Rob made, or Jimmy made, about can that land be used in a way that it produces solar? If we had, with respect, better superfast broadband all across London, it may mean few people having to travel from home to work because they can work from home. The average time somebody spends travelling from home to work is an hour and a half in London. If we plan more carefully where people live, where they work, where they study, and where they play, if we have superfast broadband, it could mean we could do this in a way that doesn't lead to some of the journeys being made.
Well, green noises and hopefully a lot more as well. Thank you both very much.